Woo, Chile. Let's talk. Let's fucking talk because this is crazy. So, I'm not gonna give you guys a super long intro. I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about who I am and then we're gonna get into this. My name is Jalen. If you're new to my channel, I normally do fashion, I do vlogs, advice, health, a lot of different stuff. But today I'm doing like a topic video and I'm gonna be incorporating these more on my channel, so be on the lookout for that. But today we are gonna be talking about this whole Chris Brown fiasco and colorism because some people are really upset. And I just think we just need to just get everything in the open. You know, nowadays we live in a very sensitive culture. So let's talk about it. So what's going on? So Chris Brown, I think he dropped a new project. I'm pretty sure it was a whole project. Now personally, I can't keep up with Chris Brown. Like the last 700 songs on Heartbreak of a Full Moon, I haven't even got through all of them yet. So I haven't had time to actually listen to this project. But one verse in one of his songs particularly has sparked a whole lot of controversy. And the verse is, and I quote, "Only fuck with black bitches with the nice hair." Once that line started to get a little bit of attention, he actually went to Instagram and he responded. And if I can find it, I will put the videos in here. But if not, a quick synopsis. Basically, he was talking about like women's edges. Like he was saying, post a picture if you're offended. Like if you're mad, you're ugly, basically.
For all the angry uglies that's mad at what I said, post a picture of what you look like. Please. I'm begging you. So we can end this shit once and for all.
Once he said that, and of course it ended up on the Shade Room, a reality star by the name of TokyoVanity, who's on Love and Hip Hop, she actually commented underneath the Shade Room and was like, "Wow, that's crazy. You know what? One of my friends was actually trying to get in his section, but he wouldn't let her in because she was dark skinned, and that happened in LA and in Miami." Now, when she said that, he posted her on his story, basically saying that, trying to imply that she was ugly, and she went on to drag his ass for filth. I ain't even gonna hold you. I watched this video. I'm gonna try to put it in here again if I can find it. But she had me cracking up. I ain't even gonna lie. She read my man's for filth. Alright.
Christopher Paul Brown. Bitch, stop playing with me. Okay, all that talking about can you take me out and all that, like, bitch, that shit not funny. Second of all, bitch, I'm not even your type, bitch. You into things of, lighter complexion, coke, heroin, Molly, acid, embalming fluid, cigarettes. I'm just saying, Puerto Rican women, white women, Asian women, and that's all fine because that's your preference and we are entitled to a preference. Bitch, all I'm doing is calling it like I see it. When we was in the club in Miami and when we was in the club in LA, bitch, in your section, your rules was no darkies. You wouldn't let my homegirl in LA, but you let all her friends in. And in Miami, you wouldn't let my other homegirl in, but you let all her friends in. But y'all was talking about no dark-skinned women. All I'm saying is, like a gangster, how you feel, stand on that shit. Because me, however I feel about anything, I'ma stand on it 10 toes. Bitch, don't come changing your opinion and how you feel about shit because everybody bashing you. And furthermore, I told my homegirl not to even be in your section because, bitch, she don't even do cocoa.
Alright. So that's basically what's going on. So to catch everybody up, now let's go ahead and talk about it. So what are people saying? Some people are like, wow, y'all are so sensitive. Like, only people that's mad is ugly women that don't have their hair done. Like, he didn't even mean that. He did not mean in a way of like discriminating against women with a tighter curl pattern. Like, he was just saying if your hair is done, then you shouldn't be mad if you keep your hair done, and saying that it's just like sensitive culture. Other people are saying like, no, he know what he meant. The whole line was offensive. Like, everything was offensive. Blah, blah, blah. So I think in order to actually have an intelligent conversation about this, we have to go ahead and define some things. Now, if you are just like here for the tea, like, I'm not a drama channel, okay? So I didn't just do this video for the sheer fact of like, ooh, let me get some views for Chris Brown's name. That's not what we're here for. So if you are someone who actually wants to be educated on this matter or hear an intellectual discussion about this matter, then stay watching. But if you're ignorant, you know what I'm saying? If you are somebody who is not open to hearing other opinions, like, because I want to hear you guys' opinions in the comments and things like that, but we have to be respectful. Like, this has to be a respectful environment. Everybody has to have respect. Okay. First and foremost, what is colorism? And the reason this word needs to be defined is because so many people are bringing this up into this discussion. Colorism is basically the divide between dark-skinned and light-skinned black people, and it goes deep back to in slavery how the lighter-skinned, fair-skinned black people were in the house, the darker-skinned people were outside. And it definitely created a complex between black people because consciously the light-skinned people being in the house told the dark-skinned people subconsciously that the light-skinned people are better, you know, they have life easier because they are closer to whiteness. So that is where colorism originates from. So how does colorism still affect us today? Colorism is very prevalent in the black community, like very prevalent. And Chris Brown is not the first rapper or hip-hop artist to talk about something like this. There have actually been lines that are way worse than what Chris Brown has said. Chris Brown is not the first to do this or say this. This is actually something that's really prevalent in hip-hop culture. But colorism has become so subconscious in us that we have associated certain features like a lighter skin complexion, like a sharper, more pointier nose, like full lips but not too full, you get what I'm saying, like loose curl hair. This a wig, by the way. The wig details will be in the description box. But all of those things, we have associated those things with being more beautiful. Why? Because racism and colorism that has been instilled in us, not something that we just voluntarily chose, you know what I'm saying? That's the main thing to think about here. Your actions and your choices and your beliefs, a lot of them, if you are not conscious about them, a lot of your beliefs, a lot of things that you think about the world are things that you have been told to think about the world, are projections that you have taken on as your own for the world, or are things that you've noticed about the world and you have taken on that same mindset. So when you were born, you didn't automatically think light-skinned girls with loose curly hair were more beautiful. You grew up and you probably saw these girls in the music videos. You saw them on the magazines. You saw them with the rappers. You saw them with the athletes. And you subconsciously processed that as, okay, successful black men always seem to have a pretty high yellow girl beside them. That must be beauty. That must be the token of beautiful women. Or Hollywood movies only cast light-skinned women with loose curly hair. That must be what is beautiful. You get what I'm saying? So colorism still affects us to this day. Now let's bring it back to the topic at hand. How does this relate to what Chris Brown said? Back to Chris Brown's original line, only fuck black bitches with nice hair. Now let's just start at the beginning of this, okay? Let's just start at the beginning with Chris Brown and what he has represented throughout his career. It's no secret that Chris Brown likes women of a lighter complexion. Karrueche, Rihanna, those are the only two that I can remember that he dated off the top of my head. But even in his music videos, more often than not, you are seeing white women, you are seeing Asian women, like Tokyo said. I mean, it's just the facts of the facts. And those things in itself are not necessarily a problem because you are allowed to be attracted to whoever you want to be attracted to. But the thing is, so many people are hiding behind this word preference when it's not even a preference. You've been psychologically programmed to believe in somebody else's standard of beauty. So to say, I would not date a dark-skinned girl because that's my preference, that's not a preference, because at the end of the day, the first thing we're quick to say is like, we're all black. And so it's like, if you would date a black woman, why does she have to be light-skinned? Because that's what you deem attractive? Why is that what you deem attractive? You would deem that attractive because that's what you've been told is attractive. That's what society has implemented as an attractive woman, okay? Now, that doesn't necessarily mean anything is wrong with that. If you do your soul searching and you find that after, you know, cleansing yourself of all the societal pressures and things that you have been told throughout your whole life, that you are still more attracted to a woman of a fair complexion, okay, that's all well and good as long as you don't disrespect and degrade other women in that process. Now, back to Chris Brown. He's known for being with women of a lighter complexion. As Tokyo said in her video, and another girl actually said in her video, it's here on YouTube. I will link her video down below because she talked about this as well. She was at the BET Awards and she was in a section that was directly across from Chris Brown and Tory Lane's section. And she said Chris Brown's section was mostly white women. And so it didn't surprise her when she heard what TokyoVanity had said, saying that no dark-skinned women were allowed in his booth. Now, why is that relevant to the lyric? Because we're like talking about the intention here, you know what I'm saying? Because some people, like I said, some people are like, he didn't mean it that way, and that's why you have to give all this context, because all of that adds up to the lyric. So, only fuck black bitches with the nice hair. First and foremost is the first thing in this is the black bitches. Now, let's not sit here and act like, as I've already stated, hip-hop culture is known for degrading women, is known for its colorism. There's a lot of things in hip-hop that need to be addressed, but off rip, this lyric isn't something that would stand out because of what hip-hop has become, unfortunately. I say that because I know that somebody's gonna be like, oh my god, like people say all the time, like, okay, that doesn't make them right. I'm just using this as an opportunity to use Chris Brown as an example to speak on something to inform and educate other people. So, first things first with this is the black bitches. Leading the sentence with black bitches, so immediately separating them from any other race. Which means that when you're talking about good hair now, you're specifically talking about categories of hair for black women, okay? And it wasn't black women, only fuck the black girls with black hair, only fuck the black women with black hair, which even still, the only fuck black bitches, like, that's objectifying and sexualizing right there. But again, that's hip-hop culture at its essence. You completely isolate one group of people. We're talking about black women now, okay, with the nice hair. Now, some of you might already know where I'm going with this. And before I go there, some people are like, he said nice hair, not good hair, which is a term that is used a lot in the black community. Let's just not play stupid. We know what he meant, okay? Nice hair, good hair, same fucking thing. Just, that's it. Now, what is good hair? In the black community, we know what good hair means. If you are a light-skinned woman, or I mean not even just light-skinned women probably have been told they have good hair, but more are a woman with a looser curl pattern, a black woman with looser curl pattern, and you have been told, oh, you have good hair, then you know, you're like off rip what that means. Normally good hair, like this wig, okay? What is this? A smooth 3A, 3B? I think in the black community, a lot of people consider good hair to be in the type 3 range, because most black women have hair that's either in type 3 or type 4, and type 3 is more of the looser curls. But we know what that means. Like, I'm going to put some definitions on the screen because some people are really acting oblivious. If you've really lived your whole life as an African American and you never heard that term, then that's good. I'm glad that that form of colorism has never come in contact with you. However, it is a very, very real form of colorism, and it's something that's really, really, really prevalent. And I don't know if it's a Southern thing, but being that Chris Brown is from Virginia, I currently live in Virginia, I grew up in North Carolina, it was something that I heard a lot. And when I hear this saying, what does it mean? Good hair? It's hair that's softer, that's more like hair of white people. Like, it's closer to hair of white people. It's closer to that European beauty standard, because what happens when your hair is more tightly coiled? What do we call that? Or what did that used to be called? Nappy, okay? Kinky, as if kinky is like a bad word. You know what I'm saying? And those things are what connect you to your identity, okay? What features give you the identity of being an African American? As a general whole, it's having tightly coiled hair. It's having bigger features such as our lips, our nose. It's the color of our skin. Okay? And so What are the things that people nowadays as a whole try to deem as ugly? I've been told that I have a big nose so many times as if that's like a shot, you know what I'm saying? Like, as if that's like, oh my God, like you got a big ass nose. Like, that's supposed to hurt my feelings. This is the nose I have. I have a black nose. Like, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with having it. Like, what makes that ugly? You get what I'm saying? When you really ask yourself these questions, what makes a big nose ugly? What makes big lips ugly? What makes darker skin ugly to some people? What makes tightly coiled hair ugly, nappy? Because those are features that black people are defined by. So realize what you're saying as a black person when you call another black person ugly for those features, or you degrade them for those features, or if you are a lighter skinned black person who has the nice hair and you have the privilege, realize that your confidence and your self-esteem shouldn't completely come from the fact that you are a light skinned black person and that you have these features that are more societally acceptable. Like, that doesn't make you any better than any other black person, okay? And I know that subconsciously it's not your fault that you think that way because it's society, okay? That's what you've been told. That's what you've been trained to think. But it has to come to a point where you realize, okay, I will not be divided from my people over European standards of beauty. I will not as a black person, I will not tear down the appearance of another black person for appearing more black than me. Like, come on, man, come on. So back to Chris Brown's line, my personal opinion of it. Obviously, I'm not offended because it wasn't meant to offend me. And there are a lot of women who look like me with this wig, who are saying, I'm not offended, I don't get it. Like, I must have good hair, maybe that's why I'm not offended. Like, as I've just said, if your confidence and security and self-esteem is built on the fact that you are a light-skinned person with loose hair, that is not confidence. That is your insecurity disguised as a superiority complex, because people have told you or made you think that you are better than other black people because of those outward appearances, okay? Just because it doesn't offend you directly at this moment doesn't mean that it's not wrong. It wasn't meant to offend you. You're on the side of privilege. And I don't understand how people can understand racism and how racism works and how white privilege works, and at the same time not understand what colorism is, because colorism is a subsector of racism. And honestly, in my opinion, colorism is a more effective form of racism, because we will never be able to completely rewrite the narrative and become unified, because we're constantly fighting ourselves over stuff like this, because we're divided in our minds over stuff like this, over silly shit. They have told us that white people is beautiful, and the closer you can be to white, the better you are. Click, go. And it's like niggas is jumping, trying to get them a high yellow girl or a white girl or whatever, of the simple fact that some white people told your ancestors that 400 years ago. Like, it's time to cut them traumas. Cut that. Like, I'm over it. I'm getting kind of heated because it's like, I get so mad when I see the main people who are defending Chris Brown's actions, or who are saying like, oh, y'all are sensitive. The only girls that are mad are girls that don't love themselves, are black men. Shocker. Like, because it doesn't affect you. Okay? It doesn't affect you, especially when we're talking about hair type. It doesn't affect you, the discrimination that we get for our hair. Light-skinned women with loose curly hair, again, doesn't affect you. You're on the side of privilege. So of course you're not offended. You're not going to understand because you didn't have that experience. We have to realize, I realize and I completely accept that as a light-skinned woman, my experience as a black woman is completely different from a dark-skinned woman. Even though we are both black, and even though we will both face discriminations and things because of being black, her experience is going to be completely different from mine. Okay? And being an empathetic person, you have to realize that just because you didn't go through something personally doesn't mean that it didn't hurt somebody else. My youngest sister, is the only one of my sisters that is dark skinned. When she was 9 years old, she told me that she wished that she was light skinned so she could be pretty like me and my other sisters and my mom. And that broke my fucking heart, because at 9 years old, why are you already aware of the standards that society has for black women? Why are you already aware that light-skinned women will gain access to rooms that you don't have, just for the sheer fact that they're more adjacent to whiteness? That's the racism on top of racism. You get what I'm saying? Like, and what y'all gonna say? That my 9-year-old sister is projecting too? She just don't love herself and that's why? Well, when you've been told your whole life you don't have the good hair, you're not the pretty one, okay? Because, again, let's step outside of ourselves and realize the reality that other people have lived. You're not the pretty one. You're not the one with the good hair. Why are you so dark? Why is your hair so nappy? Your entire life, you don't come out the womb not giving a fuck. You don't. You don't. You hear what people are saying and you form your self-esteem based on what other people are saying to you. Now, self-love is a personal process, okay? Totally. But it's way harder to do when society is telling you that you're not beautiful. And then you go to the movies and you see, even black movies, you see the dark-skinned men with the light-skinned women. You see the light-skinned women winning. The dark-skinned people are the villains. The Lion King? That might be a reach, but it might not. Like, come on now. Come on now. So, that's basically all I have to say about this. If you guys want to comment in, I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this. Please, please, please be respectful. Like, because I clap back, okay? I clap back.
Okay, guys, so I'm sitting here and I just kind of want to add something at the end of this video because I had a thought, because I've been having conversations with people about this whole topic of, colorism and the Chris Brown situation. And I think the best way to put it so that we can just all come from a place of understanding is, think about a time when you were younger and you were bullied or somebody said something mean to you or something that just really hurt your feelings. I feel like all of us have had things that we have been picked on before. Personally, I've got picked on because I have a big nose. I've been picked on because of my weight. I've been picked on because of, not being up to trend with the things that other people were. So, yeah. And I remember in that time, like, I couldn't really imagine what anybody else was feeling like because I just knew what I was feeling like and I was hurting and it hurts your feelings. And if you've ever had anybody say anything mean to you or if you've ever been bullied before, you know what that feels like if you could tap into that feeling. And it's like, if somebody is telling you that they feel that way, even if you don't understand because you didn't go through that experience, maybe you weren't bullied about your weight, but you were bullied about your height. Or maybe you weren't bullied about your height, but you were bullied about your skin tone. Any of that, if somebody's telling you that they feel that way, just be human being enough to understand that their feelings are valid and, do what's in your power to not hurt other people's feelings, because what do you gain by putting anybody else down? You don't gain anything. So, just wanted to add that in there.
I hope that you learned something in this video. I hope that this video just, didn't waste your time. I hope that you left with some valuable information. I really appreciate you guys for sitting through and watching this video. If you guys want me to do more videos like this where I talk about like pop culture topics or hot topics or something, it would have to be something that gains some benefit. Like this, I feel like I educated some people on what colorism is, even if they don't necessarily take it, at least they are aware. So it would have to be something that had a purpose. But if you guys like videos like this, I would love to film more of them for you. Like, I love talking my shit. So make sure you guys subscribe to my channel and stick around, watch another video if you want to. But in order to live your life to its fullest, you must live fearlessly. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.